All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Kakodash. Double honors to our apostles, that great millstone that rule with honor and with diligence. Honor to you brothers out there pushing this truth and love and sincerity to wake up the elect. Peace be to the elect and their families, those that change according to the word, calling on the names of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai in time of trouble. We say, peace be unto you. May the Lord have mercy on you in these evil times that we're living in. And, this is going to be a quick video. I'm probably going to bring out one scriptural passage unless the Spirit, guides me to others. But, there's so much, going on in the world today, so much prophecies. The Lord is really moving, fast. As a matter of fact, I was reading an article that the Elder Yashawamba posted in one of the groups about how the days are actually being shortened. The world is increased, in its speed, in its revolutions. It's turning. So they're saying no more 24-hour days. Because the earth is moving so fast that it would mess up the course of time if they kept recording 24-hour days. Eventually it'll be, 12 midnight and it'll be broad daylight, So yeah, things are moving fast, man. The Lord is definitely speeding up the time. The scripture said if the Lord had not speed up the time, no flesh would be saved, But yeah, this whole situation with the U.S. bombing Iran has been real silent. It's been real. There hasn't been any real retaliation. They're saying that no, there was no nuclear bombs at those facilities. But it's all of these elitist groups, all of these countries are pretty much in league with one another behind the scenes. There's elitist groups in every country that are controlling the sway of society, and everybody else is just a peon, a puppet, except for the elect of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. We see through a glass darkly. We see exactly what's going on, So, it would even make you seem like these people hate each other, But behind the scenes, they're all of the elites, which are controlling these people. They all want the same thing. They want total control. They want to be as God. They want to be as the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. So I was considering, today is July 3rd. Hey, don't be surprised if something big happened tomorrow. Don't be surprised if you listening to fireworks and something hit to make the earth shake. Bombs. Don't be surprised if bombs start dropping. Because while everybody's marinating their chicken and ribs, the Lord is making moves. Eventually, there's going to be a war. But even in the midst of what's happening now, I told the brothers in the camp, man, don't get too excited. Get excited when the MOTB gets pushed, because that's the main prophecy we're watching for. At this point, we're past, okay, yeah, it's beautiful. The scriptures are coming to pass. It increases our faith. But, at this point, we just want to get the fuck out of here, So I'm looking for, the prophecy I'm looking for is that MOTB. And that's even on the move. You had guys playing, pretty much playing video games with their minds using Neuralink, So even behind the scenes, that's being kept pretty much behind the scenes. You know, you got to really be a watchman, you know, a servant of Yahweh Shemiel Shai to find, to search these things out, you know, and these things are being searched out through the man of the Lord, mainly at Great Millstone, you know, and abroad, you know, but these things are being searched out through the man of the Lord, and they're being brought to the forefront. And, you know, yeah, there's, you know, wars and rumors of wars. There's going to be bombings. There's going to be major events. But before this war escalates to the point of a nuclear reaction, that MOTB is going to be pushed, you know. So we got to, you know, okay, yeah, we're excited. Yeah, it's exciting times and it's beautiful. But, you know, that's the prophecy that we got to, you know, be looking out for. You know, that's the prophecy that's going to be the final test of Jacob's trouble in these times, man. You know, people, man, there's going to be a lot of betrayal. There's going to be a lot of, you know, people falling out the truth. You know, that prophecy right there is going to really show you who's true, who's down with this truth. You know. But yeah, man, you know, hey, prepare for, you know, skirmishes, you know, in the city, and stay prayed up, keep, like Apostle Rakah say, keep your medicine strong with Yahweh Shem Shai, your prayer, you know, your prayer life, man. Like, make sure that you know, you can fast when you need to, when you feel your spirit, you know, like that's the thing. You know, Lord's will, I'm gonna start doing more. You know, because it's like a real heavy spirit out here, man. You know, but you know, and Satan's been like really fucking with my channel. You know, like, you know, he's on, like, these devils are on that bullshit again. When you know, you do an hour-long lesson and only 15 minutes upload, or you do a lesson and you hit the stop button, lessons disappear. You know, he's on that bullshit again. You know. So, but, you know, in the end, it's all to no avail, man, because what Yahweh Shem Yahushua set in order is gonna happen. It's not gonna stop anything that we do. It's not gonna stop anything that Salakia, that Yahweh Shem Yahushua is gonna do. You know. So, you know, America is gonna eventually get touched. You know, and you know, tomorrow, the 4th of July, this whole thing in Iran has been silent, pretty much. They haven't really retaliated. They said they have sleeper cells, and, you know, yeah, you know, okay, they could have sleeper cells, but, you know, these elites and these higher ups in America, or whatever attack that happens, they're going to be a part of it. They're going to be notified. They're going to have the information already. Yeah. There's going to be attacks and such. There's going to be attacks such and such. This tomorrow could be a goddamn day of turmoil while everybody's, you know, soaking their meat and preparing their sides. You know, all hell could break loose tomorrow. The fucking power could go out. You know? You know, they had that thing in Las Vegas where all the power lines fell down for miles, and the people out there without power. And it's hot here. I know it's hot out there. You know, I pray for the Akim out there, that the Lord be with those brothers, man, in Las Vegas. But, you know, fuck the rest of these people, man. You know, the thing is, we told you. You know? Well, the scriptures speak about how, what's that? So like, you despised all my counsel and with none of my reproof. You know? That's what the Lord said. You people, you despise all the Lord's counsel. Who's the Lord's counsel? His mouthpiece, the men that are set up to teach his word. That's the Lord's counsel. And these people have been despising the Lord's counsel and with none of his reproof. I mean, they wouldn't correct themselves from being rebuked by the man of the Lord. They wouldn't right their wrongs. They wouldn't come, you know, wholeheartedly into Yahweh Bashim Yahushua and repent and live and live right and do the first works. But these people, they just want to be, everybody wants to be that dolo, YOLO, I'ma do me spirit, and people about to see the reward of doing you real soon, man. A lot of these young men, hey man, Apostle Rakai, that man is a prophet, man. When they first started saying, when Trump first started even saying, before ICE started making moves, I was on the phone with Apostle Rakai. I was like, hey, did you see, like, they said they're gonna start sending people to foreign prisons, when they start what's the word, god damn, that's Satan, deporting all these so-called Hispanics, these are our people, the Northern Kingdom of Israel. They're our people, man. It's wicked what's being done, because these are people that was in this land first. This land, this country, this whole country is connected to their country. And this whole world is about division, separatism. That's proof that whole one world order agenda is going to fail, because the whole society was built on separatism. But yeah, man, they brought all these Africans and Chinese and Hindus, people, people from India. I don't call them Indians, but these people from India, they brought all them in, but then they, along with Issachar and the Northern Kingdom tribes, the Latin tribes, and then the only people that you see getting bust off is the Israelites. The only people you see getting snatched up is Jake. Because they were just a front. That's what they do to us. They use us till they don't need us no more. And then when they don't need you, they come and disband you. Come break up all your shit, man. You could be just like moving into a house or an apartment with your family, and then this devil comes and just snatches you up and puts you on a flight somewhere, and then dump you out over the ocean. And the only people I've been seeing speaking out about what's going on with Issachar and the Northern Kingdoms, Ephraim, Issachar and the Northern Kingdoms, the Latin tribes, is Jake. The world isn't up in arms because it's Jake. Because these other tribes and nations, they hate us. I mean, these other nations, they fucking hate they hate the Israelites, man. Now it's shackled bodies being washed up on shore. Under the guise of being taken to a foreign prison, people are just being, why? Because a lot of these prisons are already overcrowded. So they're like, you know what, fuck it, just kill them. And when I was having that conversation with Apostle Rakai, he was like, no, brother, I never forget this. He said, you know who else they're going to snatch up? They're going to snatch up Big Shirley, Keisha, and Pookie and Ray Ray too. And this was last year that Apostle Rakai said this. He said, nah, brother. He said, eventually they're going to snatch up Big Shirley, Keisha, Pookie, and Ray Ray. And what did Trump just announced recently on July 1st? Yeah, eventually we're gonna get rid of you niggas too. That Apostle Rakai was the first one that said that I heard being mentioned. And when he said that, I was like, damn, like, my mind, sometimes the apostle will say something right then at that time. It's like, wow, like man, like you all you do is just you consider it. But like man, like when I heard that video, I was like, man, Apostle, that's what Apostle Kai said that. You know, that he was gonna eventually gonna start snatching up Pookie and Ray Ray too, man. You know? And I know a lot of those brothers down in Dallas heard him say it too, because I was down in Dallas with them brothers. It was other brothers around. Well, the first time I heard him say it, we was in the car. We was going, up to the Elder Bonsapad's shop, and he said it, and then he said it at the camp house. So I know them brothers down in Dallas heard it, and other brothers that was coming to visit in town heard it too. But yeah. Don't be surprised, man. Don't be surprised, man. You out barbecuing and fucking lighting fireworks, and then some shit hit that shake the fucking ground, man. You know? Eventually this country is gonna go to war. They're gonna start snatching up Jake. Hey, they've been said in the legislation that all these niggas that they got records, felony records, you can be sent off to war now. It used to be that if you was locked up, or you had a felony record, or you was a felon or a juvenile, that you couldn't go to war. But now they're gonna start snatching Pookie and Ray Ray up. They're gonna start sending you to war. Or either they're gonna send you to a death camp somewhere, or either they're gonna just put you on a plane and dump you out over the fucking ocean. And these things are happening. People still want to be out here fucking off, playing around, like like the Lord ain't about serious business. But yeah, let me get this scripture, man, because a lot of these Jakes, man, they're gonna get sent to these coming wars, and they're gonna die. These skirmishes and these little wars that's popping off, eventually it's gonna be an event that's gonna happen. That's gonna have this country at war. And leading up to the big hoorah, the ICBMs and the nukes, people are gonna be getting taken out. People are gonna be getting snatched up, put on a C-130, and that's the name of that plane that opens up that they drop in the migrants off. That's a military design plane, a C-130. That's the same plane that the Rangers jump out of. And I know that to be true. That's the same plane that the Airborne Rangers jump out the back of and parachute out. What they used to call paratroopers. So that's a military design plane, man. That's the plane. That's the same plane that when I went over to Iraq that I flew into the country in. The plane that got that ramp that opens up in the back. So that's a military design plane. So that shows you that the government has, is using military assets to off Jake, man. And through all of this, it should be a goddamn outrage, but everybody want to still barbecue chicken, man. That's what's wrong with niggas, man. Everybody still want to barbecue chicken and pop fireworks for America, to celebrate America. After all this shit going on, everybody still want to fucking, everybody still want to act like it ain't shit going on, man. Eventually, these things that are happening are going to start touching everybody. But yeah, man. Yeah. Let me get the scripture, man. The second Ezra's I'm going to start at verse 31. It said, even so in those days there should be 3 or 4 left by them that search the houses with the sword. Hey, it's gonna be anarchy, complete anarchy in America. This whole a breakdown of this whole system. A major event is gonna happen that's gonna make this system break down. Who was it? Bank of America. I think it was Bank of America, or one of those banks was warning today of a stock market crash. I just saw that article this morning. Either it was Bank of America or PNC or one of those banks or Wells Fargo or one of those banks was saying they was warning of a stock market crash. Because that could take place. Hey, America could be hit with a EMP device or a pocket nuke that can knock out satellite connection. That could a major blackout could happen. Anything can happen. We're living on the edge of this place, man, like falling down, man. Anything could happen, man. Like, people got in their minds that we got time, and bro, like, shit could happen tomorrow. Shit could happen today that could change the course of how we live life, man. Stay on your P's, man. It says, and the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old. Hey, that's happening now. They sending Issachar back home, and sending the Northern Kingdom, brothers back, home, or either dumping them off planes into the ocean, or whatever happened. The first video they showed people going into where is that that prison. It was a prison in El Salvador. They showed a video of people getting sent to the prison in El Salvador, but now it's bodies, shackled bodies, washing up out of the ocean. And some of the bodies are being halfway eaten by sharks. They just find them feet in shackles, legs in shackles, no body. Washing up on the shores, man. So basically, there's a goddamn genocide going on, man. But another thing, man. Like, that's the thing, man. The Northern Kingdom brothers, man. Like, like, I'm gonna say this, man. Like, like, I don't know about everywhere else, but out here in Indiana, a lot of these Northern Kingdom cats is fucking worse than Esau, man. They treat you with more. A lot of these, not all, man. And like, I fuck with the Northern Kingdom, man. So I got some serious, man. A lot of my seriously close brothers that I love dearly are Northern Kingdom, man. But a lot of Northern Kingdom, and we speak about niggas too. Well, a lot of Northern Kingdom, man, like out here in Indiana especially, man, do not fuck with Jake, bro. They don't. They fucking hate Jake, and I'm speaking that. Hey, man, I was in a like a few months back, I was in a restaurant, just in a Mediterranean restaurant. It was Issachar was in there, and the mother took the son to the bathroom, and then when they walked back out the bathroom and walked past me, the little boy looked at me and said, looked at his mother and said, yeah, that's my ate. And then the mother said, yeah, that's my ate. And I knew what it meant. I was like, oh, that's how you get down. And I didn't know these fucking people. Whenever I see Northern Kingdom, I usually get like fucking the Northern Kingdom. I fuck with the Latin tribes, man. But to see that, man, that shit upset me. And then now you see Motherfuckers getting snatched up and dumped in the ocean. You kind of see why, man. This goddamn devil can oppress the fuck out of you, man. You won't hate his ass, but you come over here to America and it's not cool, bro. You in the same predicaments and neighborhoods that we in, and this devil told you, hey, you're not supposed to like them, and you wholeheartedly take it in. You know? So, man, the Lord is getting tired of all this fucking division, man. You know? With the tribes, with the 12 tribes of Israel, man. Like the Lord is letting letting this devil let him show his horns to you, man. Let you see that he's a fucking devil, man. We had Latin tribe brothers came and spoke with us for months when we was up north, man. For months on end, and, in the neighborhood where Latin tribes stayed at, but they just they didn't fuck with us. You know, a lot of them, a lot of the Latin tribe Jakes was cool. The younger Jakes, and then some of the older Jakes, a lot of the older Jakes was cool. It was like, man, like this is good what you're doing, but a lot of these Northern Kingdom do not fuck with the so-called black man in America. I understand. I don't fuck with a lot of these niggas either. But not all of your people are fucked up, man. And it should be more trust among your people, the melanated people, the Israelites, than amongst these other nations. Same thing with the Haitians, Nigerians. A lot of them are cool. A lot of them are cool, man. But a lot of them, some of them ain't, man. And the people got to get shaken up, man. People think they can just come over here to America and live a good life and look down on Jake, look down on the Israelites that's already over here, and he look just like you, man. They look just like you, man. Oh, well, this American, I'm gonna treat these American niggas like shit. And then now you in a bad situation, man. Because the Lord is shaking shit up, man. The Lord is desiring of his people. The Lord is shaking things up. So, man, like, and then, like, when shit like that break out and happen, then everybody want to, you niggas need to help us. But, like, man, stop treating us like niggas, man. Stop treating us like a fucking enemy. We'll fucking have your back. Shit, I love all the tribes, man. But the niggas of all the tribes, I fucking despise, man. All you niggas, man, you nappy head niggas, you Latino niggas, you Indian niggas, you niggas, man. Of all the tribes, man, you gotta go, man. Verse 32, and the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel there through. Hey, they kicking the Northern Kingdom out of America, and you seeing this happening right now. The fucking fields are dying. The livestock is dying. Because ain't nobody gonna fucking work Issachar, man, the so-called Mexicans, bro. Now you kick the hardest workers in this country out. And it was by design, because the Lord like, no, you're not just gonna keep fucking using my people. But it's wicked because instead of, it's a lot of Issachar or Northern Kingdom that's over here that can go back to their own country and be like, fuck it. I'll just go eat some fucking mangoes. But they can't even fucking do that because it's goddamn devil, man. It's a murderer. He's a blood fucking sucking murderer, man. He gets off on killing, man. You know, he can't just say, oh, well, let me just drop you back off where you came from. No, you just gotta dump people in the ocean. You fucking devil, you. Then, I can't wait till the Lord deal with these fucking hunkies, man. It says, and the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and their ways and their paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel therethrough. It says, the virgins shall mourn having no bridegrooms, and the women shall mourn having no husbands. And you seeing that all over the internet, TikTok videos, women crying, hey, I can't get a man. I need help. I got to pay. Whoever told you 50-50 is cool. It's not cool. It's fucked up. You know, because they done drunk all this Babylon juice. Now, their subconscious is fucked up. Because even if they did get a man, that shit'll still rise back up. So these women are finished, man. It says, the daughters shall mourn having no helpers. It says, in the war shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish in famine. All this racial tension that's going on in America, it's gonna boil over. People gonna start getting put to death. People, it's already happening on a low level, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna get real rowdy out this bitch. You're gonna find out that these devils are not they not for you. None of them. You're gonna find out that you are nothing to them. And when you do, you're gonna die. After you find that out, a lot of you gonna die, man. You know? It says, in the war shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish in famine. It says, hear now these things, and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. You know, so a lot of these young men, these young YN niggas, you know, they're gonna be put to death. And these women are gonna continue to cry out. And how? Because they drunk of this cup of this goddamn devil, this Gardenian pack, and they headlong on destroying the men of their nation. They don't want to respect us. They don't want to be. They don't want to. You know, the majority of them, they don't want to respect us. They don't want to let us lead. They don't want us to be men. They want us to be fucking children. I talk, you obey. You know, and they gonna fucking pay for it, because when you could have had a man that was leading you and could help you survive these times, you ain't got shit. So you just gonna be a booty. Everybody that want to get with you, they're gonna fucking get with you, man. And you ain't gonna be no 911. And if you call 911, they might come and get with you. Hey, the president is leading by example, and he's saying, look, I got the authority to do whatever the fuck I want. And ain't nobody gonna do shit. And he's right. Ain't nobody gonna do shit about it until the Lord allows things to boil over. And it's gonna probably get to the point where they're gonna start snatching up your young sons, and you're gonna start seeing their bodies washing up for Jake to rise the fuck up and come out of this place, man. They probably telling you, man, some wild shit is happening. Some wild shit is brewing, and it's about to boil over, man. You know? So that's it, man. With that, I'm going to give all praises to you. How about Shemi Shai, Bashima Kakwadash, the bonds to our apostles. I see brothers out there pushing the word. Shalom.